folks, Jonathan Wilson, and it's a workshop blog. Today I'm holding a Bistro Plus. We're going to call it that for right now, not official title, but it's part of the Bistro series. And this one, unlike the other ones that are done in natural that you can see in progress here, which are walnut back and sides and top, spruce top, this one has maple back and sides. But alas, it also has a modern violin finish on it, and so that's sort of an upgrade, as well as the some other things like the binding is flame maple, other nice little things. This has the flame maple leg peg on it. The leg peg, by the way, is something we stick under the right knee to stabilize the instrument and hold it in a semi-guitar stance, and we grip the bow underhanded like a viola da gamba. And one thing I'd like to talk about today is this topic of stealth frets. And that's a type of fretting that's pretty much exclusive to the GuitarViol. Many people are asking me what are these the scalloped frets that you're seeing here. I'd like to give you a little background on it. Some people are, unfortunately, they get a little intimidated by it, but it's really nothing to be intimidated by about. I'd like to give you a little background. The background being that I've done this fretting process, which involved guitar frets, mandolin frets, and banjo frets for years. It was a bloody battle. And one that I became rather tired of over time and knew there had to be a better way. And a few years back I had R&D'd this concept, and that meant doing it all by hand with and inlaying what are essentially, in that case it was brass in those days, into the fret lines. Now, that instrument came out so well, and I loved playing it, and visiting clients who knew my instruments and my previous ones were all just going, wow, I can't believe how nice this thing plays. I want mine like that. And unfortunately, at the time, I was not offering that as an option. I was offering, if somebody wanted a scallop, they could do that. But there were a few things. One is that mushroom-shaped wire doesn't necessarily bend really well over curves. No matter what trick, pre-bending, removing material from the tang, doing all those kind of technical things, it just never wound up being what I felt to be the best it can be. So, over time I came up with this machine program to actually get this prepared to where the scalloping is mostly done. And the fret lines are in precision slots. And so what we do is we actually embed the fret wire, in this case it's new gold, and into those things, and then it gets corrected and polished. You know, we have to level and correct it and polish it just like we would any other fret work. And once it's done, it's a really, really good job. It's the work is very clean at the end of the day. But more importantly, it has an improved playing experience for the player. And a few things. One is people are thinking, okay, Yngwie Malmsteen, Ritchie Blackmore, John McLaughlin, people like that who've scalloped their guitars. This is a different thing. I am outside of that. I mean, I do like having some of my personal instruments scalloped, but it wasn't scalloping for the sake of scalloping. This was for the sake of creating a better playing experience on this instrument. And one of the things is when we do full chords, in particular, let's say a bar chord, doing something simple just like that on a fingerboard that essentially, I'm going to bring it over one just for demonstration. This is a very old fingerboard. It was actually one that was played by Loga on the first Neoz album, for some of you Neoz fans. But you can see there was no material removed from between the frets. And when you try to do that type of chord, you can't really get a confident stop on all 6 strings. Or at least most of us human beings with, typical anatomical attributes could not do it that easily. So when we remove a little material from between the frets, we're able to actually get a more confident across the string spectrum, better stopping points anyway, just to make it easy. So I found that to be true. I found doing the this type of fret where it's embedded and then as if the material was removed afterwards really creates a more precise stopping point on the string. And it also allows for some other things, such as if we wanted to do a guitar-style vibrato. That's where we're engaging the fret. And what I mean by engaging the fret is, it means we're pressing down and we're getting that note. Okay, and in this case, I can kind of throw a little guitar-style vibrato on there. But we're not limited to that. We can also, just by lifting the string a little bit, we can disengage the fret and we can drag it. Okay, we can do a gliss. And I engage the fret there when I get to that final destination. Or, so just by lifting a little bit, it's like playing slide with the fingertips. So this, we can be actually fretless at will when we don't want the frets, or we want to be able to go in between them and get those sounds. Or we can have a confidently spelled out chord mapping there. So you have that advantage. So I do get asked a lot, or from time to time anyway, can I get a fretless one? I'll be like, usually I'll try to talk you out of it, but if you really want it, I'll do it. Generally I like to explain though that unlike a fifth tuned instrument, this is a fourth tuned instrument, tuned just like a guitar. That's actually with the little third in there between the G and the B. Standard guitar tuning. We can also go into non-regulation tunings, but that's another topic. When you're in fourth tuning, you have inherently a lot of chords that group together really well. Whereas in fifth tuning, you're going to get some pretty funny chords, and just because of the inherent distances involved and intervals. On the other hand, with fifth tuning, you can really rip very fast scales and melodic lines. So that's really well into. But when you're doing chords, you really want your notes, your intervals, to be pretty dead nuts on. And the problem with that is, if you're actually taking a bar chord, just try this as an exercise. If you have a guitar in your hand, put your fingertips exactly right over the frets where those stopping points are going to be, and you're going to find that's pretty hard to do on the fly. So if we're doing something on the fly and we want to get sort of get that nice little cascading arpeggio, which is otherwise not doable on a other instrument. So we could do that. But we can also use the frets to lean into a good note and change our level of expression. Who needs a whammy bar? You just drag and slide. So I'm engaging that note and disengaging. And that's all just from a slight, lift up of the note. So essentially we can be fretless at will or fretted at will. So we can get way up there. So anyway, there's a lot of fun to be had. Stealth frets are not the scary thing that you may visually think they are. They're not something to be intimidated by. In fact, my experience and those of some other clients who've been playing these instruments for a while and know the earlier versions that have the frets or even the fretless ones really have all had nothing but great things to say about this. In fact, I've had people send their instruments back to me for an upgrade and getting, the stealth frets and other things like the new tops, which I'll explain on another blog. Anyway, this is a GuitarViol for some of you who've been following or don't know what it is and haven't been following it. Some of you know exactly what it is. But it's essentially, it's a guitar viola, and a hybrid. It's a modern viola da gamba. The main difference, though, is the fretting and the type of string makeup we're using. These are actually these are cello strings. And we also have them gauged out for other tuning variations. I'm going to pull this example over just for a second. And this one here is in B tuning. And that's B to B. And I don't know if I'm in tune right now, so this could be horrible. I'm out of practice, but anyway, you can hear the difference in the tuning range. So this is a low B, and it's tuned the sequence of guitars. So for the other one's tuned like this, which is like what we'd be at the 5th fret on up. Anyway, if you'd like more information on these and the other instruments I build that are just like it, or even this one, you want to ask if it's available, go to guitarviols.com, and that's GuitarViols.com, and thank you very much. Have an exceedingly awesome day.